the project charter. The project manager was informed that he would be recruited to be the project manager for this project that's upcoming. He receives input documents from the PMO or from the project sponsor in a form of a statement of work or a project initiation request. And he looks at the initiation request or requirements document saying, hey, this is your project. And then he looks at the project organization that he's being assigned to. If it's a third party, if it's a customer, maybe the initiation request is in the form of a purchase order or a supply contract or some kind of services contract. And that is the input towards a project charter, which is a non-binding document, and the contract is more binding than the. And so he will take his project charter, he will align it with the contract to ensure that there's congruency, between both of them. But it is like this is the set of rules we will work together to achieve the project, right? And so what happens is the project manager takes all this input, analyzes the environment from which he will execute the project, and develops the project charter. The project charter is the major output of the concept or initiating phase in the life cycle of a project and will become the major output for the planning phase. It is an internal document signed by senior executives who has functional authority over all the project's functional relationships. If it's an internal project, it's the contract between all the functional units that are doing the project. If it includes vendors, it doesn't supersede the contract between the vendor and procurement. It is complementary and complementary and should reflect the same terms and conditions that's in there. But internally, it's not a legal document. It authorizes and signals the project manager to begin work. And it's a way for projects and project management teams to obtain internal buy-in. So if you're running this in an LGU or a non-government organization or a government organization and you have other agencies in the public sector involved, a project charter is very important. There are many terms that we use when we think of a project charter. Some of us call it terms of reference. Some of us calls it agreement. But essentially, understand the difference that this is not a contract in a legal sense. It is a contract from a principles sense. And this is a best practice standard across the world in ensuring that there is proper buy-in in the project. Now, in real life, people will still kind of squirm and find a way to get out of their commitments that they made on the project because of the level of maturity in an organization in terms of running projects. But those mature organizations with the right processes and governance frameworks for project management recognizes the commitments they make in a project charter. And yet, a project charter is quite simple. Let's talk about the different parts of a project charter.